Look, I am not going to lie to you. The moment she walked into my coffee shop that Tuesday morning, I knew she did not belong there. Not in a bad way, just in a way that felt almost unreal. My shop is called Jake's Corner Brew. It sits between a laundromat and a used bookstore on a quiet street in Austin, Texas. It is not fancy. The chairs do not match. The chalkboard menu is written in my terrible handwriting. The Wi-Fi password has not changed in 3 years because I keep forgetting to update it. Most of my customers are college students, freelancers, and regulars who know each other's orders by heart. Women like her do not walk into places like mine. She looked like she stepped out of a business magazine. Mid-20s, sharp blazer, heels that probably cost more than my espresso machine payment. Her dark hair was pulled back tight, not a strand out of place. She held her phone in one hand like it might explode at any second. I was behind the counter wiping down the espresso machine when the door chimed. I glanced up and did a double take. For a second, I honestly thought she was lost. She walked straight up to the counter and looked right at me. Not at the menu, not around the shop. At me. "I need your help," she said. Her voice was calm, but there was something underneath it, something tight. I wiped my hands on my apron. "Sure. What do you need? Directions? Car trouble?" She shook her head once. "I need you to be my boyfriend this weekend." I laughed, not a polite little chuckle. A full, loud laugh that made a couple at table 3 look over at us. I thought it was a joke, maybe someone filming a prank video. She did not laugh. She just stood there, serious, those brown eyes locked on mine. "I'm sorry, what?" I said. "I need a date," she explained, lowering her voice. "For a family event. It's complicated. I know this sounds insane. I am willing to pay you." That is when I noticed her hands were shaking just a little, not from cold, from nerves. "Look," I started, "this is a coffee shop. It's not like that." "It's not that," she said quickly. "I just need someone normal, someone real, someone who won't make it weird." She paused, swallowed, then said it. "I'll pay you $5,000? My brain froze. $5,000? That was 2 months of rent. That was the new refrigerator unit I had been putting off buying. That was fixing the broken AC in my apartment that only worked when it felt like it. "Why me?" I asked, honestly confused. She glanced around the shop at the mismatched chairs and the chalkboard menu with my messy writing. "Because you look like someone who doesn't pretend to be something he's not." I should have said no right there, told her to try one of those dating apps. Suggested literally anyone else. But there was something in her voice. Not desperation, more like exhaustion, like she had been carrying something heavy for a long time. "What's your name?" I asked. "Sky." She said it like she had practiced saying it casually. "I'm Jake." I offered my hand. She shook it firmly, professional, confident, like she was used to big meetings and important conversations. "So," she said, "will you do it?" Quote, "I don't even know you." Quote. That's kind of the point. The door chimed again and Mr. Peterson walked in for his usual black coffee and blueberry muffin. I held up one finger to Sky and helped him, but my mind was racing the whole time. When I came back, she was still there, waiting. "What kind of family event?" I asked. "My sister's wedding. Small ceremony? Dinner after? Everyone is bringing dates." She said it calmly, but her jaw tightened slightly. "My family asks a lot of questions," she added. "It's easier if I just show up with someone." "Easier than what?" She hesitated. "Easier than explaining why I'm alone again." That part hit me. I knew that feeling. After my ex, Claire, left 2 years ago, every holiday dinner turned into gentle questions from my mom about whether I was seeing anyone. Like being single was something broken that needed fixing. "This weekend?" I asked. "Saturday. Just the afternoon and evening. I'll pick you up, drop you off. You just stand next to me, look comfortable, that's it." "And after?" "We broke up. Timing, distance, something simple. We'll stop asking eventually." $5,000. My business partner Marcus had been pushing me to invest in a second espresso machine. I had a leak in my bathroom I kept ignoring. I had not taken a real weekend off in almost a year. I looked at her again. I did not see danger. I saw someone tired of fighting alone. "Okay," I heard myself say. Her shoulders dropped slightly, like she had been holding her breath. "Really?" "Yeah, but I need details. Where? What I'm supposed to wear? What your family is like?" She nodded quickly and ordered a latte she barely touched. We sat at the corner table while she explained everything. The wedding was at a vineyard outside the city. About 50 guests. Ceremony at 3. Reception until 8. Her parents, names were Greg and Linda. Her sister Madison was marrying a guy named Ryan. Her Aunt Carol would comment on my shoes. Her cousin Brad would try to talk sports. "Just be yourself," Sky said. "You don't have to impress anyone." "About that," I said. "What do you do?" "I run a marketing firm." "That," explained the blazer. "My family worries," she continued, "and they show worry by asking questions about why I'm single, about my job, about whether I'm happy. So I'm the guy who proves you're fine. I'm the guy who makes them stop asking," she corrected softly. Before she left, she handed me an envelope with half the money. $2,500. Cash. "This is crazy," I muttered. "Probably," she said. "But thank you." That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling, wondering what I had agreed to. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. "Thank you for doing this." "I know it's strange. I promise it'll be painless," I typed back. "No problem. Just tell me what I need to know." Her reply came quickly. "Just be yourself. That's enough." I stared at that message longer than I should have. Saturday morning came too fast. I shaved carefully, changed shirts 4 times, settled on a light blue button-down. At 11:30, my phone buzzed. Outside. I stepped out and saw her car at the curb. When I got in, I almost forgot how to breathe. She was wearing a soft yellow dress. Her hair was down in loose waves. She looked different, softer. "You look beautiful," I said before I could stop myself. She blushed slightly. "You clean up pretty good yourself." She gripped the steering wheel tighter. "I feel like I'm going to my execution," she admitted quietly. I reached over and squeezed her hand. "You're not alone," I said. "I'm right here." She nodded once. "Okay," she whispered. "Let's do this." And as we pulled away from the curb toward a wedding that was supposed to be fake, I had no idea that this simple deal for $5,000 was about to change everything. The drive to the vineyard took about 40 minutes, but it felt longer because neither of us talked much. The city slowly faded into open fields and long stretches of road. Sky kept both hands on the steering wheel like she was bracing herself for impact. When we finally pulled up, I understood why she was nervous. The place was beautiful. Rows of grapevines stretched across the hills. A large stone building stood at the center with white flowers wrapped around the entrance. Guests in suits and dresses were already gathering near a flower-covered arch set up for the ceremony. Sky parked but did not move. "I can't do this," she whispered. I turned toward her. "Yes, you can." "What if everyone's staring? What if they know this isn't real?" I reached over and took her hand. It was cold. "Look at me," I said gently. She did. "You're not faking anything. You're just showing up. And I'm not going anywhere." Her eyes softened slightly. "If it gets too much," I added, "squeeze my hand twice. We'll leave." "You'd really do that?" "Yeah, of course." She took a deep breath, nodded, and stepped out of the car. The moment we started walking toward the ceremony area, I felt it, eyes turning, heads tilting. The quiet assessment that happens when someone new appears. A woman in a lavender dress rushed toward us with a wide smile. "Sky?" "Madison," Sky said, her voice suddenly brighter. The bride hugged her tightly, then looked at me with a knowing smile. "You must be Jake." "That's me." "Congratulations." "Thank you," she said warmly. Then she leaned closer to me and lowered her voice. Thank you for being here. It means more than you know." Before I could respond, another woman approached. Elegant, navy dress, pearl necklace, sharp but kind eyes. "Mom," Sky said, "this is Jake." "It's lovely to meet you," she said, studying me carefully. "I'm Linda." "Nice to meet you, Linda." She smiled, but I could tell she was taking in every detail: my shoes, my shirt, my posture. "How long have you two been seeing each other?" she asked smoothly. "About 3 months," Sky answered without hesitation. We wanted to keep it quiet at first. Linda's expression softened. "Well, I'm glad you're here." As we walked to our seats, Sky exhaled slowly. "One down," she whispered. I squeezed her hand lightly. The ceremony started. The music, the vows, the quiet sniffles from guests. I kept my focus mostly on Sky. Every few minutes I leaned over and whispered something small. "You're doing great. You look calm. You're not faking anything." She called me a liar once, but she smiled every time I said it. Halfway through the ceremony, she stiffened. "He's here," she whispered. "Where?" 3 rows ahead, dark suit. I looked without staring. "Trevor." He was exactly what I expected. Tall, confident, perfect haircut. He leaned close to a blonde woman sitting beside him, whispering something that made her laugh. "That's her," Sky said quietly. "Melissa." Her hand tightened around mine. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah," she said, but her voice did not sound steady. When the ceremony ended and everyone stood up to move toward the reception area, I could feel the tension building in her again. The reception was set up under string lights in a large open tent. Round tables, a bar in the corner, music already playing softly in the background. This was the real test. People began approaching us one by one. Cousins, friends, aunts. Aunt Carol commented on my shoes just like Sky predicted. "Nice choice," she said approvingly. Cousin Brad pulled me into a quick talk about college football. I held my own. Through it all, I kept one hand lightly on Sky's back or intertwined with hers. And slowly, I felt her relax. Her smile stopped looking forced. Her shoulders lowered. Then Trevor walked over. "Sky," he said warmly, like they were old friends. She turned, her expression cool. "Trevor." He looked at me. "You must be Jake." "That's me." His handshake was firm, too firm. "How do you two know each other?" he asked. "We met at my coffee shop," I said easily. "You own a coffee shop?" He said it like I had told him I ran a lemonade stand. "Yeah, Jake's Corner Brew in Austin." He nodded slowly. "I'm in finance, mergers and acquisitions." "That sounds busy," I replied calmly. "It is," he said. Then he turned to Sky. "How's your little marketing thing going?" Sky's posture changed instantly. "My firm is doing great," she said. "We just landed 3 major accounts." "That's good," he said, but he did not mean it. The blonde woman smiled sweetly at us, but I could see curiosity in her eyes. "Well," Trevor said, "good to meet you, Jake." When they walked away, Sky's hand trembled. "I want to scream," she muttered. "Don't," I said softly. "He's not worth it." Quote. She looked at me. "How are you so calm?" "I deal with difficult customers every day." That made her laugh, a real laugh. "Did you just compare my ex to a difficult customer?" "If the shoe fits." Her laughter grew louder and a few people turned to look, but this time she did not care. Dinner passed. Speeches were made. Glasses clinked. Then the music changed to something slower. I stood up and held out my hand. "Dance with me." She hesitated for half a second, then placed her hand in mine. We moved onto the dance floor. I placed one hand on her waist and she rested hers on my shoulder. "This okay?" I asked quietly. "Yeah," she said. "This is nice." We swayed slowly. The lights above us glowed warm and soft. After a moment, she spoke. "Why, did you really say yes?" I thought about it. "Because you looked like someone who needed help," I said honestly, "and I know what that feels like." She looked up at me, really looked at me. "You're better than I expected," she said softly. I smiled. "I'll take that as a compliment." You should, quote. We danced through almost the whole song, and for a moment I forgot this was fake. When the night started winding down, she drove me back to my apartment. The car was quiet again, but different this time. Heavier. When we pulled up, she left the engine running. I should give you the rest, she said, reaching into her purse. She handed me the envelope, another $2,500. It felt heavy in my hand. Sky, I started. Yeah? I wanted to tell her that somewhere between the ceremony and the dance floor, something shifted, that this did not feel like a job anymore. But the words stuck. Take care of yourself, I said instead. You too. I stepped out of the car. Before I reached my door, I turned back. She was still sitting there, watching me. For a second, I thought I saw something in her face. Regret. Then she drove away. And I stood there, in the quiet night, holding $5,000, and feeling like I had just lost something I was not supposed to want in the first place. I woke up the next morning with a strange feeling in my chest. The envelope with the money sat on my kitchen counter. $5,000. It should have felt like a win. It should have felt like relief. Instead, my apartment felt too quiet. I made coffee, burned my toast, sat at my small table staring at nothing. I picked up my phone 3 times and put it back down 3 times. It was done. The job was over. That was the deal. So why did it feel like something unfinished? Around noon, Marcus called. So, he said, how'd it go? Quote, it went fine. That's it? Fine? Her family was nice. Everything went smoothly. You sound miserable. I'm not miserable. You're absolutely miserable. I sighed. It's over. That's all. There was a pause. You like her, Marcus said calmly. It doesn't matter. She paid me. It was a job. You don't look like a guy who just finished a job. You look like a guy who left something behind. I hung up before he could say anything else. Monday morning, I opened the shop at 6, like always. I told myself routine would fix this. Work always fixed everything. But every time the door chimed, I looked up. Around 10, my phone buzzed. Hey, just wanted to say thank you again for Saturday. You really saved me. My heart kicked so hard it almost annoyed me. No problem. Glad it went well, I typed back. My mom won't stop talking about you, she replied. She thinks you're great. I smiled without meaning to. She seemed nice. She wants me to invite you to family dinner next week. You don't have to come. I know that wasn't part of the deal. I stared at the screen. Do you want me to come? I typed it. Deleted it. That sounds nice, I sent instead. Anyway, hope the shop is busy. Thanks again. Conversation over. And somehow, that felt worse than silence. Wednesday afternoon, Marcus cornered me near the pastry case. Enough, he said. What's going on? I told him everything. The dance. The way it felt real. The way she looked at me when she drove away. So you caught feelings, he said. Maybe. Then call her. And say what? Hey, thanks for the money, by the way. I might like you. Say the truth. That you had a good time. That you want to see her again. Not for a wedding, just for you. That night, I sat on my couch staring at my phone for almost an hour. Finally, around 11, I sent something simple. Hey, I know this might be weird, but would you want to get coffee sometime? Not for a family thing, just coffee with me. I hit send before I could change my mind. An hour passed. Then, 2. At 1 in the morning, my phone buzzed. I'd really like that. I read it 5 times. Tomorrow, she added. My shop. After closing. 6? Perfect. Thursday moved painfully slow. At 5:30, I kicked out the last customers and wiped down the counters twice. I did not know what to do with my hands. At exactly 6, the door chimed. She walked in wearing jeans and a green sweater. Her hair was in a simple ponytail. No blazer. No sharp edges. She looked nervous. Hey, she said. Hey. I locked the door behind her. What do you recommend? She asked. Honey lavender latte, I said. My favorite. Then that. I made our drinks and sat across from her at the corner table. For a moment, neither of us spoke. "This is weird," she said. "A little." She laughed softly, and some of the tension disappeared. "I wasn't sure if you were just being polite," she admitted. "I wasn't." I wrapped my hands around my mug. "I wanted to see you again." "Why?" she asked quietly. "Because Saturday felt real to me. I know it wasn't supposed to, but somewhere between the wedding and the dancing, I forgot we were pretending." She did not interrupt. "When you drove away," I continued, "I felt like I lost something, and I know that sounds stupid." "It doesn't," she said softly, "because I felt the same way." My chest tightened. "You did?" "I spent all Sunday thinking about it, about you, the way you handled Trevor, the way you stood up to my dad without trying to impress him, the way you made it easy." She took a breath. "I've been on a lot of dates, real ones, and none of them felt as real as that fake one." "Then why didn't you say something?" I asked. "Because I paid you," she said simply. How do you tell someone you might have feelings for them when it started as a transaction? Quote. I reached across the table and took her hand. The money stopped mattering about 2 hours in. She looked down at our hands. "What changed?" she asked. "I saw you. Not the polished version, not the business version, just you. And I liked what I saw." She let out a small breath. "I'm not easy," she said. "I work too much. I overthink everything. I don't know how to not be in control." "Okay," I said. "That's it?" Quote. "Yeah, I'm still interested." She smiled then. A real, unguarded smile. We talked for hours. About her company, about Trevor, about Claire leaving me 2 years ago, about learning how to be okay alone. "Are you?" she asked. "Okay alone? Yeah, but I'm also okay not being alone anymore." She looked at me carefully. "I don't know if I'm ready," she admitted, "but I want to try." That's enough for me. I walked her to her car when it got dark. She turned to face me. "So what now?" she asked. "Now we try this for real." "No pretending?" "No pretending." She stepped closer. "At the wedding," she said quietly, "I wanted to kiss you, but it felt like crossing a line." "And now?" I asked. "Now I don't know if that line is still there." "It's not," I said. She rose on her toes and kissed me, soft at first, careful, then real. When we pulled apart, she smiled. "So that just happened." "Yeah." "Was it weird?" "No," I said honestly. "It was perfect." She laughed softly and kissed me again. "I should go," she said finally. "Early meeting tomorrow." "Dinner tomorrow night?" I asked. "A real date." "I'd love that." She got into her car, then rolled the window down. "Jake?" "Yeah." "Thank you for taking a chance on me. Thank you for walking into my coffee shop." She drove away. And this time, instead of feeling like I had lost something, I felt like I had just found it. Saturday night was our first real date. Not fake. Not for anyone else. Just us. I picked her up this time. She opened the door wearing a simple black dress and sneakers, hair loose around her shoulders. No armor. No sharp edges. Just sky. "You look amazing," I said. She smiled. "You've said that before." Still true. Quote. We went to a small Italian place downtown. Nothing fancy, red checkered tablecloths, loud conversations around us, the kind of place where no one cares who you are. Dinner was easy. We talked about everything and nothing. About a new drink I wanted to add to the menu. About a difficult client she was dealing with. About random childhood stories. Halfway through dinner, she leaned back and studied me. "This feels different," she said. "Good different?" "Better different," she smiled softly, "because it's real. No one watching, no performance." After dinner, we walked through downtown Austin. The city lights reflected off the street. Music drifted out of open bars. She slipped her hand into mine without thinking. That simple move felt bigger than the $5,000 ever did. We ended up at a small park overlooking the skyline. We found a bench and sat close. "I'm not good at this," she said suddenly. "At what?" "Relationships. I work too much. I forget to text back. I get overwhelmed and shut down." "Okay." She turned to me. "You keep saying okay like that solves everything." "It doesn't solve everything," I said, "but it means I'm not running." She looked at me for a long second. "What are we doing, Jake?" "I think we're dating." "Is that what this is?" Quote, "Unless you want to call it something else." She smiled slowly. "Dating works." She leaned in and kissed me again, and this time there was no hesitation at all. The next few weeks felt natural. Skye started coming into the shop most mornings before work. She would sit at the corner table with her laptop, and I would bring her the honey lavender latte without asking. Sometimes we talked, sometimes we just existed in the same space. And I started noticing something. I was happier. Not loud, dramatic happiness, just steady, quiet. Like something inside me had settled. But real life does not pause for romance. Skye worked long hours. Some nights she texted me at 11, saying she was still at the office. Once or twice she had to cancel plans because of client emergencies. The first time it happened, I told myself it was fine. The third time, it stung. One Thursday night we had dinner plans. I closed the shop early, changed into a clean shirt, and waited. At 6:30, my phone buzzed. "I'm so sorry. Client crisis. I have to stay. Can we reschedule?" I stared at the message for a long minute. "Yeah. No problem. I hope it goes okay," I sent back. But it did bother me. Around 9, she called. "I'm the worst girlfriend ever," she said the second I answered. "You're not." I canceled again. "I know." She went quiet. "You're frustrated." "Yeah," I admitted. "I am. Not because I don't get that work is important, but because it feels like I'm always the flexible one." There was a long pause. "You're right," she said finally. "I've been taking you for granted." "I don't want perfect," I said. "I just want effort. I want to actually see you." "Can I come over?" she asked. 30 minutes later, she was at my door, still in work clothes, looking exhausted. The moment she stepped inside, she wrapped her arms around me. "I don't want to lose this," she whispered. "You won't," I said, "but we have to try, both of us." We ordered cheap Chinese food, changed into sweatpants, and sat on my couch watching some random cooking show. She fell asleep against my chest halfway through. I covered her with a blanket and realized something important. Love is not just about the exciting parts. It is about choosing someone on the ordinary nights, the frustrating nights, the tired nights. The next morning, she suggested we set rules. One night a week that belonged only to us. No work, no canceling. We kept that promise. We still messed up sometimes. But we talked. We adjusted. We showed up. About 2 months later, Skye took me to another family gathering. This time, there was no pretending. No fake backstory. "This is Jake," she said proudly. "My boyfriend." That word felt solid. Her family welcomed me easily. Her mom pulled me into the kitchen to help with salad. Her dad asked about the shop. Madison teased us openly. Later that night, Skye and I sat alone on the back porch while laughter drifted out from inside. "I used to think being strong meant doing everything alone," she said softly. "But I was just scared." "Of what?" "Of letting someone matter." She looked at me, eyes steady. "I love you, Jake." The words hit me hard. Simple, honest. I did not hesitate. "I love you too." And this time, there was no doubt. No transaction, no pretending, just us. On the drive back to my apartment, she rested her head on my shoulder. "Can I stay?" she asked quietly. You never have to ask. Over time, her toothbrush appeared next to mine, a few clothes in my dresser, her laptop on my kitchen table in the mornings, small pieces of her life blending into mine. One night, months after that first fake date, we were lying in bed when she turned toward me. "Do you ever think about how insane this is?" she asked. "A little. I walked into your coffee shop asking you to be my fake boyfriend. And I said yes." She smiled against my chest. "Best crazy decision I ever made." Same. I thought about that Tuesday morning, about how I almost laughed her out of the shop, about how $5,000 had felt like the biggest part of the story. It was never about the money. It was about two people who were tired of doing everything alone. It was about choosing to show up. And now, when she sits at the corner table every morning with her honey lavender latte, I sometimes catch her looking at me the same way she did that first day. Like she needs help. Only now we both know the truth. We don't need saving, we just needed each other. And every single day since she walked into my coffee shop and asked me to be her fake boyfriend, I am grateful that I said yes.